Hall audience, that's not the Jarrett Hurd
They're
audience.
not into it.
Not even
They're
close.
not into it.
But can they be converted? Could it be interesting? Like maybe that's the real boxing you get attached to. You just kind of sort of notice the main event because it's obviously grabbing everyone's attentions. But maybe Jarrett Hurd does something to.
And we don't want to gloss over the co-feature as well.
Real quickly though, I just want to say I just feel like I tend to think that it's good exposure for the the real dyed-in-the-wool boxers, but I don't think this meaningfully makes boxing more popular. I think it makes this event popular, but I think boxing to get popular, you got to get your Furies and your Wilders,
Correct.
You got to get your Charlos in work, you got to get things like that. Your Canelos.
I'm just sick of the narrative, though, as a boxing guy in my core, that this is, over the top bad for boxing. If it's making a mockery of the sport and the fights are not competitive, it can be you can argue what it is. But it's a rising tide, picking up all the boats thing. I mean, how do you not see it as that? It brings more eyeballs on the actual sport.
Let's play devil's
advocate. That can be a
advocate.
runoff effect, creating new fans. I'm not saying you live and die by this. As you always say, Showtime's got a business model,
right?
And then they do fun stuff like this,
That's
right? Under that guise. How many people in your life that aren't boxing fans are talking about this fight this week? I mean, it's out of control.
Oh, yeah. I can't remember the last time. Maybe.
Here we go. Everyone.
The one thing.
You know that. Years of the sport, so
You can.
Ride all that stuff.
Up. This is why MMA is.
Somebody said y'all goats is fuck.
Though it's even bigger than that. The odds should be even more than that. Because Buster Douglas is a Philly, like hardcore, grew up in boxing gyms, had hundreds of fights, and then fought Mike Tyson.
That's right.
It's different.
Buster was an underachiever. That's really what happened, and he put it together.
Correct.
Okay, but he was a high-level professional boxer. Even by the time that him and Mike got together, that's not necessarily Logan's situation.
Well, look, you've been around sports a long time. You're a respected journalist.
Am I?
Logan said this is the biggest upset potential in the history of sports. How do you respond to that?
I don't think that's wrong. I mean, to me, it is utterly implausible that would happen. If I could just be candid,
and that's why it'd be the biggest of all, by far the biggest.
Yeah,
of all time.
I struggle to think of a guy who is a rank amateur beats one of the most legendary boxers to ever live. Yeah, that would be up there with the level of I don't even know.
No, it's never been done. It would be the biggest upset in the history of the world, and it will never be done again.
There's Leonard Ellerby over there.
Hey. What's up, brother?
There he is. Leonard, smiling ear to ear at all times. Happiest man on earth, right there. He's the best. How long does it go tomorrow? What round? Oh!
Yeah.
He won't give us much.
He wouldn't give us that.
Yeah, he was a big guy. How much bigger when you were there next to them did Logan look?
He was exceptionally bigger. I mean, that's one thing about the fight that's so unique that you think, is sellable. Putting those two next to each other for a face-off. I mean, Logan Paul's ripped. You're going to give him that. I don't care.
I'll give it to him. He's jacked.
He's jacked. He looks phenomenal. Anybody who knows boxing like you guys do, size isn't, especially with a guy who doesn't have his boxing background. Logan Paul could be 300 pounds of pure muscle, and size is not a factor here in any facet.
You know what this feels?
Unless, again, to your point, he throws caution to the wind and lands one, then size might be a factor.
Do you know what this feels like? And if you're a boxing fan, you can just look it up on YouTube. It feels like a little like UFC 1.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like we have this boxer versus this guy.
He's got one glove on.
One glove.
Yeah, he's got maybe he'll come in there Art Jimerson style.
Why is Keith Hackney punching that guy in the groin? Come on.
But don't you feel like it's like I don't know how else to explain the weirdness in sports without using that as the analog.
100%.
You really can't compare this. There's very little comparison on there. We know that Floyd is so damn calculated. He sees the future. He's got more foils. The potential of Jake, whatever. Do you think Conor is his next big one that he might chase? We asked him about that on the other day at the press conference, and he said, easy.
For Floyd?
Yeah. Is it
100%? Yeah, I think that's just a matter of time happening.
You think so?
I really do.
It would. To what extent does it matter whether Conor wins or loses against Dustin Poirier?
It's kind of like that Nate Diaz trilogy fight. That thing's always going to be there. We're going to get that. You can get Conor versus Floyd again, I would assume.
I'd have to think a loss to Dustin Poirier on July 10th, and their trilogy brings Conor closer to this fold.
I also think you're going to get a Conor Jake Paul.
You think that's what it's building towards?
Mm-hmm.
That might be the.
What do you think about that?
That might be the biggest. I mean, it's hard to say that because Floyd's not in that conversation. Floyd brings bigger numbers than anyone, but that might be the biggest fight you can make in this realm of boxing.
I think Jake Paul Conor beats Floyd versus Conor pay-per-view.
Wow,
that's a bet right there. That's a bet.
That would be. That's a. I will take that
Not
bet.
in money, though. We're going to bet hard-ass boosts like above the rim,
especially if Jake is 2-0, say he starches Woodley, then they give him another big guy, starches him, and then Conor comes over.
These are a lot of ifs.
Yeah. I'm not really.
A little bit.
2 fights.
Yeah, but he's got to do certain things in a very particular kind of way.
It is fun to map out the future pro wrestling style. It's very fun.
I know. Very fun. The pro wrestling has just killed me.
That's the world we're in.
Very quickly, one more time. You did also interview Chad Johnson up there. Now, we have seen him all week. To me, he's looked... I don't want to say not like himself because I don't know him as a person, but the entertainer that we see on SportsCenter in all these years, that's not been the guy here this week. Although this time, he looked to be in tremendous shape.
He's in tremendous shape. I felt confidence, if you're asking me what I felt in the interview. But you have to ask yourself ahead of the game, playing armchair quarterback ahead of the game, is he respecting the sport too much? Would he have a bigger edge, and only he knows as an athlete, would he come in there with a bigger edge and more confidence if he did the Ocho Cinco stuff, or if he comes in there humble, happy to be here, respecting the game, thank you for having me? We're going to find out, right? I mean, it's 4 rounds to tell us if he's a real fighter or not. Things can go really bad. There's ways to win without winning. But, what was it like to you to fire yourself up? I feel like you got to be a con man as a fighter, right? You got to talk yourself into something.
I think Chad Ochocinco should have sold this more. Him being subdued and kind of this laid-back guy, I know he's in uncharted territories. I hate the matchup for him. I don't know who his management team is. For a guy, for his first fight, to fight a guy who decided to do bare knuckle, obviously has a few screw loose. It's a tough fight for him, man.
Hey, Paige Van Zant's doing bare knuckle, all right? She's good.
I'll refrain from comment.
She's fighting Ostovich. I will buy that.
Yeah.
Speaking of buying,
for other reasons.
Transitional point.
See that transition there?
let me just sort of remind the audience here. You can go and buy the pay-per-view now. It is a relaxed price point. It is usually for Floyd. I think he said the last time he fought it was $100. This time it's half that, $50, $49.99. You can see the URL down there, sho.com/pay-per-view. You can go ahead and buy now. It'll be a Sunday night attraction. 8 p.m. in the East is when things kick off, and they kick off on the pay-per-view with Chad Ochocinco taking on Ryan Maxwell.
I'm nervous for him.
What are you going to be doing all...
I'm Mario Lopez. I'm a thick Mario Lopez.
Give me an example of what that means.
It means high school wrestler.
I'm going to turn the chair backwards. Yeah. No, I'll be in a lot of makeup. I'll be in a suit, and then I'll be going around interviewing the celebrities. Then I'll be in the locker room with Logan Paul interviewing him before he walks out.
No Floyd pre-fight interview?
No Floyd. Deuces Mero's doing Floyd.
Oh, okay. All right. That sounds fine.
Now, you hang with a high circle. You got there. You earned it. Is there anybody that you could be Star Trek? What if they say, hey,
Tom Brady for sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
The
Star
GOAT?
Trek? Yeah. The GOAT? I'd be a little nervous. But no, I'd be cool, though.
He seems friendly. You know?
Yeah, he does.
Like the guy who was on the boat who was tossing the Lombardi.
Yeah, I want that Tom
Yeah,
Brady. He's all hammered.
He's like 5 White Claws deep. That's the one you want right there.
Yeah,
right?
then what if he's like, why don't you and I fight, Shaw? I'm like, all right, showtime. And
Yeah,
then
see, you could be talked into it then,
Yeah,
couldn't you?
I'm into it,
Yeah,
dog.
you would
Yeah.
versus Tom Brady?
Yeah, that's a good one. Tom Brady for sure if he's there.
Okay, well, we can't wait to see tomorrow night. It's going to be fun. Wish you the best of luck. Please don't wear an outrageous suit, but not like super
No,
outrageous.
go for it.
The pants are a little outrageous.
Antonio Montana. Come on, it's
are
Miami.
They
Come on, bro.
unbelievably tight.
They're pretty tight. They're cropped up. You see some ankles. They got Gucci prints all
They're
over
his
them.
hotel pants, no ballroom. All right,
Yeah, right.
All right. Well, with that, okay. On that note, we'll probably get fired.
Yeah.
One more reminder. Tomorrow night. Of course, the fights are not tonight. They will be tomorrow. They'll be here in Miami, Florida. If you would like to buy the pay-per-view one more time, you can see the URL there below on the screen. shoshow.com/pay-per-view. It's one half of the cost of what it normally is to see Floyd Mayweather fight. Of course, it should be. This is a different kind of a thing, but it's a nice, relaxed price point for all the folks out there. Okay. All right. Well, we've really enjoyed you guys tuning in. This has been one hell of a week.
We got Trick Daddy. We had Trick Daddy.
We had
right?
Trick
Come on.
Daddy.
He didn't play Trick Love the Kids, though.
He didn't, but I felt like
Unreal.
you got to grade him on a curve. It's fine. I got what I was looking for out of Trick Daddy.
Don't talk about his figure. Talking about curves.
I
right?
said no
All right?
words about that
He's a legend.
whatsoever.
All right? He's a legend. Please.
Trick Daddy's
All right?
60.
All right.
The black was as slimming as it could have been. The shirt,
I'm already in trouble with enough famous people this week. Okay,
All right.
I don't need.
We got to get out of here. For Brendan Schaub, that's Brian Campbell. I'm Luke Thomas. We thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you tomorrow at the fights.
Somebody's taking an L, Luke. Okay, somebody's going to come away with big time bragging rights. We've never seen an event like this before.
Is it going to be mayhem? Is it going to be mystery?
All the jokes and got your head aside. You got to box this man, Floyd Mayweather.
Yes, sir.
Do you brawl him? Do you attack him? How do you make up that?
Get a new set of tires in just a couple clicks at Firestone Complete Auto Care.
Definitely do your thing, and I watch you on my TV all the time.
Enlisted is the free brand new online World War
He got up, so it's still going a little bit. All right, little
Hey, Kalina, you
I'll be giving them away live to you guys.
Up, Kalina slowly grabs onto the ropes.
in progress. Yes or no?
The fight hasn't started yet. We have 100,000 people here. The fight hasn't started yet, guys. So we're gonna just wait a little bit longer. All right, we're waiting for this.
Shit, this is bro.
So you've heard me He was like,
Alright guys, so I guess Showbox isn't even fucking doing it. I literally just tried to freaking... Alright. Let me see if I can get one of these guys on here. I mean, I can't even get, like, any of them. I think like I tried to join their server and it didn't work. Alright, alright, so it's HTTPS. trying to get the stream, guys.